Hey guys, welcome to another English commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be part of the MSL offline preliminaries between GoRush and Favian. GoRush, one of the regulars in the MSL, he didn't actually make it last season, I believe, or the season before that. Before that, though, I think he made it something like 3 or 4 times in a row. He's pretty much a regular. He was an MSL championship, the Golf King MSL, quite a while ago, but really since then hasn't shown much. He's most famous for being one of the few players that could beat Savior during his string of dominance, and he was actually Savior went Terran against GoRush, and the taunt was, well, you can't beat me with your zerg, so I see you're going to try to switch things up, and that was a huge mistake. GoRush absolutely destroyed him as, I wouldn't say an absolute domination, but he beat him pretty handily. He's going against Favian right here, who's starting the 6 o'clock position as a orange Terran, and that he's from Sansum Khan, and I honestly know absolutely nothing about him. I'm not sure if he's been in the GOM TV matches. Usually, I see matches here and there, but usually it's the big names. So it'll be interesting to see his playstyle and to see if he can knock GoRush, who's one of the better players, I would say, in the offline preliminaries, out. So the old favorite versus the new no-name. Anyway, I guess I hate to call people no-names. Anyway, speaking of fun matches, you can go check out other MSL offline preliminaries on both Cholera's account. He did some of the UUV games. And also, Moltrap's account, he did Idra versus Jelizerg, beat me to it. And I think Idra put up a pretty good fight considering he played against arguably one of the best players in StarCraft, if not the best player in StarCraft. So really I felt like a lot of that game came down to early scouting. And we're going to see, it looks like an early, actually it looks like that drone's headed out to get, yeah, second hatchery down fairly quickly. But just an early drone scout rather than waiting for the Overlord scout to come across the field is essentially, in my opinion, what won it from Jelizerg, what won it for Jelizerg, actually putting in a very good position. I think Idra adapted fairly well given the circumstances, but yeah, it just wasn't enough, ended up getting defeated, but I think he held his own, so anyway, check that out. Otherwise, yeah, doing some MSL stuff. Endurance is done. We've raised officially $1,314, so $23 off Leet. That would have been awesome, but oh well, thank you for putting up, first of all, the time, because I know while I was doing that stuff, wasn't doing this stuff. I am still doing endurance tournament, or I'm sorry, not endurance, doing Yankee League. It's currently on break, I assume, because of iCup. I haven't heard a lot. IC Cup being down at the moment. I know IC Cup is coming back probably in about 2 days. Big announcements in that regard. And extremely exciting. And quick plug, SC101 starting up. Mr. Bitter getting involved with that and having a lot of highline coaches. Quick expansion here. So see wow, Favian just going to go straight into a fast expansion. We'll see if GoRush can get some Zerglings out to put some pressure on this fast expansion, but immediately going into a quick expansion. We'll see if the Zerglings are being produced. The problem with this is really, as a Zerg player, you have to make sure that you build Zerglings preemptively as opposed to drones at this stage. And he's going straight into a 3 hatchery build after seeing that second expansion up. He's going to try to fight economy with economy. So interesting early builds, although it looks like Favian is going to have a huge scouting advantage. Those 2 Marines are going to basically push GoRush out. Looks like a second barracks going down now. And probably going to, yeah, capping that gas as well. But both players are going to play a heavy economy game, and usually when you see things set up, you'd think, oh yeah, this is going to be a long time, but both players, I would assume, are going to go head-on into each other, being that it's a one-player map, and the economy, both players went just straight macro to start, just 2 Zerglings being produced, otherwise all drones at this stage. I'm going to have to give a slight advantage here to Favian just because of that scouting, though. He's got that SCV scout still running around inside GoRush's base. GoRush, knowing how important that is, he's going to bring that Overlord alongside to just spot those SCVs as they're being transferred, get a good look at them. I don't think he's going to be able to get it much farther. He needs to be careful he doesn't lose it. 4 Zerglings chasing that SCV scout around. Teching to layer very quickly in an off position, so to try to fool this SCV, make him think that he's going for a different build than he is, or maybe delaying layer for maybe Zergling speed, something else down the line. We'll see if that SCV comes along to really scout that out. Academy almost up, so no pressure at all from, and it looks like these Zerglings just going to kind of chase this SCV the long way around. One Zergling coming back, I assume, to block the ramp to make sure that SCV doesn't make it all the way around to give a pure scout basically all the information. I got to assume that Favian is a good enough player at this stage to not fall for this, but you never know. And wow, a good Marine force pushing out. I don't know if GoRush has enough to stop this. He does have a Zergling on the front door to spot this coming in. We'll see if he can get a creep colony or 2 down. He's going to need to invest in a creep colony 2. Does manage to kill the SCV scout at this stage. But there should be, and we'll see what kind of tech he's going right now. I've got to assume this looks like a Mutalisk build to me. So with the 3 hatchery and also, yeah, it looks like we're seeing a spy right there. All of a sudden, can't talk late night. And pretty good sized bunker bust. Yeah, GoRush is going to need at least 2 sunken colonies on the front door. He's only got the 1. It looks like he's going to try to rely on the a little bit of the blockade of the map artifacts on destination. By the way, prior, I'm really embarrassed about this. Prior, I was saying, oh yeah, this is totally a Terran map. Totally not. Protoss can maintain a huge degree of map control because of those highways. I just had to examine it a second time, and classically though. Now getting the second sunken colony down, but interestingly enough, do I see an SCV alongside? I was wondering, oh, Overlord going to get caught out in the field. No, it looks like the Marines in the Firebat's just going to ignore it and come around. Just a single medic, a Firebat, and a group of Marines. I think GoRush has proper defense to really usher this in. He's going to be, or usher this away, I should say. Second sunken colony is going to be online. He brought those Zerglings in a flanking position. I don't think Favian's going to bite at this stage. He's got more Firebats and more Marines being produced alongside. Really, those Firebats going to be less and less effective as this game goes on. Of course, because GoRush is going for that Mutalisk attack. Engineering Bay coming up online. I was kind of curious. I'm wondering if a Terran player actually would go for some cheese and loop around with their medic Marines and try to mine out the backside to force. I don't know how well that would work. I don't know. Maybe a thought first. I don't know how many people play this otherwise. I'm kind of waiting that cheese, and I don't know if it's come about. And it looks like he is kind of flanking back around. That's what I'm wondering about. But it looks like GoRush was already predicting this. He's already in good position to deal with it. Has an Overlord in position just to spot that out. Such a pro. Gotta love that guy. Overlord's just kind of meandering around. Looks like the wow, a lot of I gotta assume a full 9 here. A full 9 Mutalisk is going to be coming, bearing down onside Favian's base. He's getting a factory down in the meantime. At an off position, it's not going to be protected by turrets, I would assume, just because it's going to be a pretty heavy investment. So I think this might be just 1 turret coming online. I think that back main is going to have enough turrets. I assume the secondary is going to have enough turrets, but the question is whether GoRush decides to risk a little bit with his Mutalisks, and if he has Mutalisk control to kind of thread in there and pull out. With this map, because of that back artifact lane, basically he can sweep down to the south. Looks like, yeah, the Marines in defense right there already, but he can actually sweep through and come around kind of that left angle, but that bunker already in position, it looks like he's not going to risk it. He doesn't want to get caught. Some Zerglings up alongside, so GoRush actually looking and building more Mutalisks to support. It looks like he might be thinking about ending the game right here. He's already put down another hatchery, or at least not ending the game, but putting in additional attack. Still, wow, actually I expected more turrets along that backside. That was actually a very vulnerable point. Trying to loop around, taking a couple hits at that turret, not able to take a turret down at that stage, but gathering up with more Mutalisks. Looks like he has a full control group at this stage, actually full control group +1, I'm assuming, at that stage, which is why that other Mutalisk is getting left behind. Another hatchery coming up because he essentially has full map control at this stage of the game. Favian, because he's going a little bit less on the turrets and it has such a wide area to spread, he can't bring those troops out of his base. Otherwise, the Mutalisks would just bear down and just do all sorts of economic damage.